All righty, welcome back. Half hour left before we turn it over to Rado and Damon. And let's welcome in KJ Wright, former Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl champion, played beside Bobby Wagner. What's going on, KJ? How you doing?
What's up, fellas? Doing well.
All right, here you go. The San Francisco 49ers are trying to develop a raw quarterback and win the Super Bowl in the same year. Can they do it?
One of the worst decisions I've seen made in a pretty long time. I got to be honest with you. I'm not a fan at all of that. You have Jimmy G on your team. He got you almost to the promised land. What more do you want from the man? Keep rolling with Jimmy G. If you're not going to roll with Jimmy G, then trade him to another team because no quarterback wants to try to develop with a better quarterback over his shadow, looking over him. So Jimmy G, he needs to get traded. I didn't like the move at all.
Wow, okay, we appreciate the honesty. Let me piggyback on that. So do you think at this juncture there's veterans like yourself, Super Bowl aspirations in the Niner locker room that are looking sideways without saying anything?
Yeah. Here's the thing. The window to get to a Super Bowl, that window is very, very small, and you have to have the best players on the football team. And if I'm a guy in that locker room, I don't care who you traded up to get. I don't care how many draft picks you gave away. I want the best players on the football field. And so I know it's extremely frustrating for those guys. It's just one game. Let's give the young man some time to develop and grow. But you know what you have in number 10 and Jimmy Garoppolo. So very frustrating situation, and I'm sure those guys want to get things figured out as quickly as possible.
KJ Wright joining us. He played middle linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl champion, joining us on 95.7 The Game. You know what? Maybe I didn't hear this, KJ, but I'm getting the sense you feel like, and I guess I'm asking, do players around the league maybe think that the 49ers aren't doing right by Jimmy Garoppolo?
I wouldn't say that. I believe that Jimmy Garoppolo, if I'm not mistaken, he did choose to restructure his contract. Not sure why he did that, because his market would have been just fine. I believe that quarterbacks, he's a really good quarterback, and I believe the situation could have presented to himself. So he decided to restructure his contract. He wanted to go be a backup. I would not have done that if I was him, because the man he's a winner. The man, every time I played against him, it's always come down to the wire. He's had some health concerns, but when he's on the football field, Jimmy G is a really, really good football player.
Well, let me ask you this, KJ, because, Trey Lance is a relatively unknown. When you see him, even before week one, what did you think? And was he worth all what Kyle Shanahan paid to bring him in?
That's yet to be determined. He hasn't played that much, and I believe that with quarterbacks, you got to get those guys reps. You got to get them reps. And but if I had Jimmy G on my football team, I would not have reached that far with that much to get a quarterback that played at a small school. And I believe, wasn't Justin Field in that same draft class?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wouldn't have done it. I'm not a general manager. I'm just I just play ball. But on the outside looking in, that was a really, really big risk. And the reward hasn't quite paid off just yet.
KJ Wright joining us on 95.7 The Game. One of the things coaches love to take credit for is when they put a player in a position to succeed. Do you think the San Francisco 49ers have put Trey Lance in the best possible position to succeed?
I do. I believe when you look at his surrounding cast, he has, first of all, a phenomenal play caller in Kyle Shanahan. The man is hands down the absolute best that I've faced when it comes to calling plays. So he's going to put him in position to be successful. You have Deebo Samuel, you have Kittle, you have a really great run game, and so he has everything around him to be successful, and you just add that defense on top of that. The only thing that's bothering me is that Jimmy G is still in that building.
Yep.
Just get him out of there. Just trade him or do something, because if you want to grow, you don't want to hear this chirp about, oh, who's the better quarterback? Why is he in there? You don't want to hear that nonsense, because in this generation, you best believe that he's looking at his Twitter and Instagram, and people are definitely letting him know what they think. So he has all the tools around him. There's just one missing piece they're missing to take the next step forward, and that's Jimmy G in that building.
KJ, I told my partner I'd bet my left arm that I don't care who was quarterback in the Niners, they ain't losing to Chicago, and guess what they did? So now Kittle may not play. Mitchell, 6th-round pick, shocked the world last year. He's out.
Yeah.
If you're the Seattle defense, are you looking at Trey Lance and this Niner offense like, boy, we got action?
I surely hope so. You know who I'm rooting for. But
right.
My Seahawks team, I was at that game, and that was a very, very emotional win for those guys. I'm looking for them to have that same energy, that same focus when they play against the Niners. You know, when you win a big-time game, you just walk around the locker room feeling yourself. You all happy and excited. And San Fran is pissed off. They're the exact opposite. They have a sense of urgency. Hey, this is a for sure must-win for us. And so I hope the defense is ready, because I know that with that run game that Kyle Shanahan has, he's going to run that football. So they definitely have to get their mind right come Sunday.
So, KJ, you're saying players definitely hear the outside noise?
1,000%, especially in 2022 with Twitter and Instagram and all that. Yes, 100%.
Can it affect a player?
Different guys operate differently. I know for me, I had to delete my Twitter at one point during the season. I'm like, I can't be reading this junk, just typing in my name on Twitter, seeing all this mess. I personally deleted my Twitter. Some guys, they scrolling on the feed and it bothers them. It gets to them. We talk about it in the locker room. And so different guys know how to handle it differently. But this new generation, I'm telling you, they definitely see it.
Hey, KJ, I got to ask you this one before we let you go. And I don't want to be messy, but I'm watching Monday night. Now, I'm a Russell Wilson fan, and I know, he ain't street. You ain't got to be street for me to like you, but I know, he's different. But I'm listening to your former teammates' podcast, Richard Sherman, and he's going in on Russ left and right. Not to be messy, but KJ, why don't they like each other?
Oh, man, you're trying to get deep. You're trying to get deep on here.
Give us a little bit, KJ, if you can.
Okay, I know Sherm. That's my guy. Sherm is a very, very honest and blunt individual. He doesn't sugarcoat it with anyone. And when we was in that building, there were some certain things that Sherm felt like a certain standard wasn't being kept when it comes to accountability from coaches. If you want to hold us to this standard, I need you to hold this young man to the same exact standard. And so I believe Sherm was mad at the wrong person in the building. Like, be mad at somebody, Sherm. Be mad at Coach Garrell. And so it's an interesting relationship. It's very unfortunate that they feel that way towards each other. But man, when I was in there and they was booing my guy, I felt bad for him. It's
right.
The narrative that Russ, wanted out of Seattle and his former teammates. The relationship isn't as great, and so it's pretty unfortunate that happens. But I guess it's ball.
KJ, thank you so much for joining us, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's KJ Wright.